As we mark 24 years since the 9/11 terrorist attacks, today we introduce you to a professional tour guide who says that she has educated more than 30,000 people about all things New York.
But because of 9/11, she found herself part of one of the most meaningful tours she offers. Lisa Rozner has her story.
Symbolically are not able to see the very bottom. That is to remind us of the endless pain and suffering that the families have gone through.
It's 9/11 history that even New Yorkers don't know.
They uncovered this tree barely clinging to life. This is the only thing to make it from the original site to this site.
Like the survivor tree, professional tour guide Christina Stanton lived through 9/11. She and her husband moved just 6 blocks away from the Twin Towers in July 2001. This was the only photo they took on their terrace. Its doors were open on 9/11.
And I remember my husband saying, "Do you want your shoes?"
She ran down the building's 24 flights barefoot. Her husband took their Boston Terrier, Gabriel.
Honestly, my husband and I kind of said goodbye to each other. We looked like this. We were covered with that dust and debris. We evacuated within seconds, that second plane. We ran to Battery Park, and that's where we were when the Twin Towers came down. We were evacuated and saved by the 9/11 boat evacuation, which I am forever grateful for.
Stanton is marking 3 decades as a licensed tour guide. She's introduced visitors to Central Park, architecture in Greenwich Village, and even shopping tours.
Essentially, for 6 years before the attacks, I took several thousand tourists through the World Trade Center site.
Among the stops today,
this was unveiled in 2019.
The Memorial Glade, rock formations embedded with metal from the World Trade Center site.
It is dedicated to people who are still dying from the toxins. In January, I was diagnosed with uterine cancer, right? There's been 69 cancers that have been related to 9/11, that doctors have formed that connection.
They also stop at the names of Cantor Fitzgerald employees James Patrick White, who was 34, and his colleague and girlfriend, Amy O'Doherty. White was her husband's fraternity brother.
And I still have his service program. I remember when he got the call confirming that Jim had died, he just burst into tears.
A woman of faith, she finds comfort at the St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church, the only house of worship destroyed on 9/11, now rebuilt as a national shrine.
I love seeing St. Nicholas kind of helping people in their journey to see Christ. The 3,000 people who died on the day of 9/11, that definitely strikes a chord.
Stanton says the sphere is also a symbol of her life before 9/11 because at its original location is where she used to meet tours.
You just finished this tour that's educational but also deeply personal. How are you feeling?
Like I want to cry. And I do cry even 24 years later about half of my tours.
This was kind of right before when I was born, being here and just like seeing what it was today and trying to picture like everything that like happened in the past 24 years is like insane to think about.
I've read a lot about 9/11, been to the museum, seen a lot of documentaries, but I didn't figure out that I could speak to someone who witnessed this thing. It gives me a different perspective to this.
Stanton and her husband moved buildings but still live in the neighborhood.
Being able to verbalize and to talk about it is something that's soothing for me. It makes me feel like I'm doing something with the pain.
The tours are weekly and free. In Lower Manhattan, Lisa Rozner, CBS News, New York.